what is your favorite season?
Awards.
You've seen the controversies and the crash outs. The 2025 awards season has it all. Snubs, surprises, and scandal. This year's nominees include a wide variety of genres, including drama, sci-fi, horror, fantasy, thriller, musicals, and of course, even a musician biopic. To say it's been a roller coaster ride is an understatement.
Look out!
Can we get out of here?
No, I'm enjoying this.
But what is actually going on with this year's award season? And what does all of this mean for the award show that caps it all off, the Oscars?
The Oscar goes to...
And the Oscar goes to...
And the Oscar goes to...
This is What the F*** Going On, Oscars edition. Let's first get familiar with the traditional Oscars process. The Academy Awards, also known as the Oscars, are the last awards given out during the season. This year, they're on March 2nd. Late summer and early fall of the previous year is when the awards conversations first start to pick up, right after the major film festivals over the summer. However, award season truly begins in earnest in the winter. The Golden Globes are the first major mainstream award show of the season. They're followed by the Critics' Choice Awards, BAFTA, and the Guild Awards, including SAG, DGA, and PGA. These award shows are all precursors for the Oscars, paving the way for nominees, potential winners, and building momentum for a campaign. The whole process includes carefully constructed campaigns with nominees attending dinners, luncheons, screenings, and a whole slew of press and publicity events to encourage voters to vote for them and their film. Each award body has its own set of voters. The Guild Awards, like SAG, are only voted on by members of the Screen Actors Guild, while the Critics' Choice Awards, for example, are only voted on by members of the Critics' Choice Association. The Oscars, however, have the most encompassing voting body. That's why they have long been the definitive awards of the industry. Now, something to keep in mind for later is that voting for winners at the Oscars occurs after nominations have been announced. In other words, Academy Award members vote multiple times. First, they vote on who should be nominated. Then, they vote on who from the nominees should win. This is important because that means voters' minds can change between when they vote for who to nominate versus when they vote for who to win. We'll circle back to this later. Often, award season follows predictable patterns that emerge early on. This is one of the reasons why many people check out of award season. Of course, there are always surprises and unexpected winners, but most of the time we have a general idea of who's going to win because we have frontrunners and one or two predictable backups. However, this year, many categories at the Oscars are wide open due to unexpected controversies and surprise winners early on in award shows. For example, coming off the summer film festivals, Anora was predicted to be a major winner come award season. Yet, it was later overshadowed by Emilia Perez and The Brutalist. Emilia Perez and The Brutalist became frontrunners in a number of major categories leading up to the Golden Globes, like Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, and Best Supporting Actress, with solid chances in many other categories as well. As a matter of fact, both movies walked away from the Golden Globes, winning most of these categories and retaining frontrunner status. So naturally, it was expected that these movies would sweep down the line at the Oscars. But now, that seems highly unlikely given recent events. Interestingly though, the Golden Globes also produced some surprise winners like Demi Moore, Fernanda Torres, and Sebastian Stan, who all have gone to shake up their respective categories, with Moore and Torres now among the frontrunners for Best Actress at the Oscars, while Sebastian Stan could very well be a surprise winner for Best Actor if Adrien Brody and Timothée Chalamet split the votes. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's focus on The Brutalist and Emilia Perez and how their Oscar chances have changed the landscape for the rest of the nominees. First, The Brutalist. A24 picked this movie up last fall knowing it would be a huge awards contender. With a slow release, incrementally increasing theaters to build momentum, The Brutalist was at the top of the list for many voters when it came to Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Actor. Hailed as a cinematic masterpiece with a true artist at its helm, The Brutalist, like last year's Oppenheimer, seemed like a transcendent cinematic achievement that celebrated the art of movie making. But in true 2025 fashion, things started to fall apart for this movie very quickly. As you may have seen, The Brutalist was hit with a controversy when the film's editor shared in an interview that the film used AI on the Hungarian accents for Adrien Brody and Felicity Jones. The director of the film, Brady Corbett, clarified that the AI was used sparingly and was not used to change any actor's performance, but not before the story already negatively impacted the film's image, especially since Hollywood actors and writers just went on strike about this very issue, the use of AI for actors' performances. The timing of this news is critical here. The article came out after Oscar nominations were finalized, but before any Oscar voting had begun. Therefore, this news directly has an impact on who people eventually will vote for because voting hadn't even started yet when this controversy first emerged. So now this cinematic achievement is tainted in many voters' eyes by its use of AI. And exaggerated or not, it doesn't matter how the AI was used because the idea has already stuck in many Academy voters' heads. And for some of them, this is a huge factor. These voters who may have originally voted to nominate The Brutalist at first may now not vote for it at all. So a movie that was seemingly locked in for 3 categories, Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Actor, now might have a hard time walking away with anything. And that is a huge deal because it opens up these categories to other nominees. Ordinarily, in a normal year, this would mean that the second frontrunner, Emilia Perez, would have an open shot for Best Picture and Best Director. But of course, this is no ordinary award season. So let's talk about the rise and fall of Emilia Perez. Emilia Perez premiered to high praise at Cannes, winning awards for many of its lead actresses. This Spanish-language musical about a trans-Mexican drug lord turned humanitarian, directed by the French Jacques Audiard, got 13 Oscar nominations despite the general audience hating the film either for misrepresenting Mexican culture, disrespecting and offending the LGBTQ experience, failing to deliver as a musical, or all of the above. Emilia Perez even had its own AI controversy, where AI was allegedly used to help certain actors hit high notes on songs in the movie. So it was a loaded film to begin with. But despite generating lots of chatter on film Twitter, it seemed like the industry loved Emilia Perez, and it was likely going to clean up at the Oscars. But then Karla Sofia Gascon happened. Racist and xenophobic tweets were resurfaced. These tweets were shockingly offensive and racist. Some of the worst celebrity tweets I've ever seen, rivaled only by Kanye West. And every day it seemed like the tweets that were found were worse than the day before. While Gascon has argued that these were old tweets from a different time, they were found to actually range from 2016 to 2023, just a year before Emilia Perez was released. So it seems like they reflected a pretty recent Gascon. Yet Gascon doubled down, insisting that these were misrepresentations, lies, and twisted words taken out of context. But it doesn't stop there. As the tweets continue to surface like a burst dam, Gascon scheduled an hour-long interview without consulting Netflix or any publicists involved with the Emilia Perez campaign. That is a huge no-go, especially in situations like this. Remember, awards campaigns are very carefully coordinated, and going rogue like this hurts not just the actor, but also the entire film. The interview included Gascon insisting that she is not a racist, that her co-stars Selena Gomez and Zoe Saldana support her 200%, and that she was not withdrawing her name from the Oscars race. Interestingly, her co-stars don't seem to be on the same page as her.
I'm sad. It makes me really sad because it's I don't support and I don't have any tolerance for any negative rhetoric towards people of any group.
A tricky situation for Saldana, who had been sweeping Best Supporting Actress prior to the scandal, and her Oscar was pretty much locked in. Now, everyone associated with Emilia Perez is also associated with the horrible tweets of the film's lead. Even director Audiard, who has made his own offensive and racist comments, called Gascon out. Things got so bad that Netflix distanced themselves from Gascon for all future campaign activities, not flying her out to any events and not mentioning her on promotional material. Once again, the timing of all of this is crucial. This all occurred in the few weeks between the Golden Globes and Oscar nominations being announced and the start of Oscar voting. So, like The Brutalist, Emilia Perez is directly affected by the AI controversy and Gascon scandal because voters will absolutely keep these things in mind when casting their votes. Once a Best Picture contender, Emilia Perez now will likely struggle to take home a single award, including Best Supporting Actress for Zoe Saldana. After all, who would want to reward a film like that, even with a lead actor having such a strong performance and career like Zoe Saldana? So before final Oscar voting even started, Emilia Perez and The Brutalist are no longer the awards darlings they were when Academy members first voted to nominate them. So who's the frontrunner now? Well, the Critics' Choice Awards and Guild Awards recently delivered some interesting surprises. Now, keep in mind that voting for these awards was finalized before the Brutalist and Emilia Perez news broke. Theoretically, if those movies were true frontrunners and voting occurred before their respective controversies, we'd expect them to still win in the categories that they had previously been winning, right? Well, no. The Critics' Choice Awards gave Best Picture to Anora and Best Director to John Chu for Wicked, while the Guild Awards, the PGA, and the DGA gave Best Picture to Anora and Best Director to Sean Baker for Anora. Remember when I said Anora was predicted to be a big winner early on in the season? Well, it looks like that rang true after all, because the critics and guild members voted for Anora over the Brutalist and Emilia Perez before any of the respective drama even came out. Anora also didn't miss any nominations other than at the Golden Globes, so the film winning the Critics' Choice Award and the PGA and DGA awards means that it has always been a strong contender amongst industry voters. So a film that was already a strong contender now has a very strong momentum going into the Oscars voting. It also stands as a solid new option for former The Brutalist and Emilia Perez voters who are disillusioned with their respective films. Since John Chu is not nominated for Best Director at the Oscars, that means Sean Baker and Anora are most likely going to take home the Oscar for Best Director and Best Picture. It's amazing how this award season has come full circle back to Anora. So let's take a look at the major categories as they stand now. Best Picture, Anora. Best Director, Sean Baker. Best Actor, Adrien Brody was a frontrunner. Now, most trades predict Timothée Chalamet will win this award, but I think Sebastian Stan could be a surprise winner here. He won the Golden Globe for A Different Man, but is actually nominated for The Apprentice. Stan has been double nominated this season, but now at the Oscars, he only has one film to campaign for, which could mean voters that were previously split between A Different Man and The Apprentice may now consolidate their vote for The Apprentice. Given Trump's recent executive orders and the chaos that has ensued, Sebastian Stan could have a really strong campaign message, which might resonate with voters. So don't be surprised if come Oscars night, Sebastian Stan goes on stage to receive the Best Actor award. Best Actress likely is going to go between Demi Moore or Fernanda Torres, which is huge because The Substance gained most of its momentum from its Golden Globes win. That's why the Golden Globes going first in award season has a huge impact on how the rest of the season plays out. The Substance also received a lot of recognition at the Guild Awards and the Critics' Choice Awards, so Demi Moore seems to have a solid chance at Best Actress. However, Fernanda Torres came out of nowhere at the Golden Globes. She might have a strong opening, especially since Emilia Perez, an international film, may not even win Best International Picture. I'm Still Here could win that, and that could also bolster Fernanda Torres' campaign. Don't forget though, Anora was a frontrunner from the start and continues to be so. And in early days, Mikey Madison was predicted to be a leading frontrunner for Best Actress. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Academy rallies behind Anora and gives it Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Actress. Best Supporting Actor, Kieran Culkin. He's been winning and he likely will continue to win. It seems like the industry has really come together and solidified their choice for Best Supporting Actor. Best Supporting Actress. This previously was Zoe Saldana's Oscar that most people were pretty content with. But after the Emilia Perez controversy, who's to say that those voters will continue to vote for Zoe Saldana? After all, rewarding a film like Emilia Perez with a single Oscar may not sit well with voters. This opens up the category to Ariana Grande, who online has a lot of support. Wicked does seem to be getting some recognition by the industry, evidenced by the John Chu Best Director win. So perhaps Academy voters will decide to reward Wicked with a Best Supporting Actress win, which would be huge for Ariana Grande as her first major acting role. So that's what's going on with the Oscars race so far. We'll have to see what happens on March 2nd, but I'm excited. This has been really fun and interesting to watch and has been such a unique awards season. Look out for my final Oscars prediction video closer to the ceremony, but in the meantime, share your thoughts on who you think will win, who you've been rooting for, what do you think about the Emilia Perez controversy. Thanks so much for watching and stay tuned for more.